Hello, this is Brittany M. You are now tuning in to the podcast Mind Over Matter Forever, where we talk about self-care, personal growth, and lifestyle-related content. I'll be sharing the empowerment tools I've used to develop confidence in myself and take steps towards making my dreams a reality. I have learned how to stay true to myself while actively working on opportunities for self-development. I hope that these shared tools and mindset shifts will help empower you in your day-to-day to gain confidence in conquering your goals. Today's topic will be on supercharging your manifest power. 3 tips to align your desires with the universe. So I spent a period of my life aimlessly wondering what direction I wanted to go to in my life and in my career. I originally went to school for teaching and changed my major about halfway in when I realized teaching in a school format isn't my cup of tea. My life experience has taught me that I'm great at being honest with myself if a job, a relationship, environment isn't aligning with my personality, needs, and wants. This can be a gift and a curse because moving around to different opportunities can be seen negatively. So if you are in any way like me, I'm sure the question comes to mind, how do I circumvent this perception for myself? Well, today we'll be answering this question. The short answer is that by taking the time to learn yourself and identify your values and dreams, you can be confident in expressing yourself in interviews and to your loved ones because you have connected the dots for yourself and it makes sense to you. Today, I'll review some strategies and tips to help you align your wants with the universe and confidently make decisions. Tip number 1. Declutter your mind to uncover your dreams. Cornel West once said, "You can't move forward until you look back." This quote resonates with me because taking the time to declutter your mind clears up your mental space and energy. If you want to think ahead and dream big, your brain must dump all the thoughts, mindsets, and experiences that no longer resonate with who you are today and the person you want to become. Using the Soul Fast Workbook by Cassandra Mack was super helpful as a spiritual detox to clean out irrelevant information from my brain. This helped me acknowledge any fear or negative thoughts formed from my thinking and affirm myself with biblical scriptures and positive sayings to embrace the endless possibilities in life. Another workbook I have used to reframe my mindset and look into my future's potential was Cassandra Mack's Unleash Your Unstoppable. This workbook is amazing and it's still being referred to in my current daily life. What I love about this book is that it has a table of contents where you can select the feeling that resonates and go to the section where there is a scripture, her chapter covering the feeling, a prayer you can say to God, then a journal prompt and section you can write in. 10 out of 10 recommended to anybody who struggles to figure out what to say when praying to God and defining their emotions such as fear or regret. Those workbooks really helped me because I was at a point where I found myself ruminating over past experience, especially experiences where it's like, oh, did I handle that correctly? Should I have addressed the situation in a different way? And this is regarding mostly in my experience, like past friendships and friendships where I perhaps wasn't showing up as my best self, and I also probably just could have handled things in a different way. And then in some cases, I was handling everything on the up and up, and I just had to realize that, people are in our lives for seasons, and that's okay. I know that in the media, they can show a lot of circles of friends that go through every stage of life, and that seems amazing, but all of us are not going to follow on that path, and that's okay. But I found myself not being able to believe that was okay until after I spent some time using the Soul Fast workbook in particular, because the way she writes out her journal prompts, it really helps. She asks you a lot of different questions that can really help you reframe your mind about how you regard a situation. And you can use it as almost like a writing out a letter to a person that you're no longer communicating with, or things like that. So I would just say to definitely check those books out. I will have them linked down below. And also, I do want to say that reflecting on past experiences, there's nothing wrong with that. But I believe you have to get to a point where you have reflected, you've acknowledged what could have been handled differently, how you could have shown up, how you could have enforced your boundaries. But you have to eventually let that go and move forward. And I find it very hard to be able to take steps forward if I am constantly looking back. And I cannot remember the scripture off the top of my head, but I remember the story in the Bible where I believe God wanted the family to move forward, and I believe he didn't want anybody to look backwards. And if they looked backwards, I believe they were either they turned into dust or something like that. I can't remember the scripture. I would look it up and insert it into this clip as I'm recording, but I got a million things to do today, so I just will. I'm sure somebody down below can pull up that exact scripture. We can clarify it. And maybe after I'm recording this and I'm editing the video, maybe I'll look it up and put it in the caption. But for the next tip number 2, look up the skills and steps you need to make your dreams a reality. So one of my favorite Bible passages is James chapter 2, verses 14 through 26. Verse 26 says, "For as the body apart from the spirit is dead, so also faith apart from works is dead." The essence of this passage is that having faith is not enough. You have to put the work in to see it come to fruition in your life. Whether you believe in God or the universe or both, I think that you can prove you are mentally and spiritually prepared for your dreams by acting on what you need as if you are already on the way to receiving it. For example, when I decided to pivot into my current career field, I wasn't sure how to do this successfully. So I looked at my work experience, pulled out some transferable skills, and updated my resume to highlight those skills. One day I came across a certification for professionals entering the field that shows that the employee is serious and committed to the profession. I wouldn't have learned about that certification if I hadn't researched the profession heavily. And after studying for the exam and getting the certification, I successfully negotiated a higher salary with my next job opportunity. So do you see how the universe rewards you after you put some work in towards your goals? Another example is when I decided I wanted to live on my own without a roommate. Talk about researching. Looking for an apartment is a full-time job in itself. Knowing your credit score, your income, the area you want to live in. What helped me cope with the stress of looking was doing spring cleaning. So removing clothes I no longer wore and packing as if I had already signed the lease. Essentially taking tip 1 a step further by decluttering my physical space. Finding other outlets can help motivate you, and packing items I wasn't using helped me knock down the tremendous task of packing when I eventually saw my apartment, signed the lease, and was preparing to move. I also sold a lot of those clothes and earned extra money, and that went toward my moving fees. I'm telling you, once you start working towards something, the universe will work with you in mysterious ways. I remember when I was packing up my items, my clothing items, shoes and things that I didn't want. I was using a section of the living room. Like, we had a really big living room. There's a living room with a couch and everything, and there's a small portion of the room that really you can do yoga, exercise in, you can have people in. It was a really good spaced out section. But I had my little corner, and I started to fill my corner with my boxes and things that I was packing up. I remember my roommate at the time and her friend, they were kind of like looking at me like I was crazy, because it was like, you are doing all this packing, but you have not signed any lease yet. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, that's because in my mind, the apartment's already mine. Like, I've already signed my apartment lease. And basically, my motto is always, stay ready so you never have to get ready, okay? So that's how I was thinking about it at the time. And I'm looking back amazed at myself, because that really was a mentality that I had at the time. And there's been several instances in my life where I've had to steadily move one step forward, one step at a time. And sometimes in those moments, it may not make sense to others. They may not be able to see your vision or see that you are going to be signing that new apartment lease. Sometimes they just won't be able to see it. But you know why you are doing the things that you're doing, and you know the end goal of where you want to take it. So at that point, there doesn't really need to be a group consensus on when you do things for your betterment or for your goals. You don't need to say, oh, well, should I wait to start packing after I sign a lease or find an apartment? No, it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't need to be group things, because sometimes, because it doesn't make sense to others, they'll just say, oh, well, no, I just usually wait until I have a place, and I just, put in a week or two out of just packing. You don't have to operate that way. That could be a standard way. It could be what others are, how other people may handle it, but it may not work for you. And also, as I said before, it's almost like an outlet at the time. Like, sometimes when you're moving forward and you're taking those steps, it feels very validating to you, because you know why you're doing it. Now for tip number 3, believe you can get it. One of my all-time favorite shows is Grey's Anatomy. Before McDreamy died, of course. R.I.P. McDreamy. And if you have never watched that show and did not know that McDreamy dies, I am so sorry to break it for you, but at this point, it has been many years and many seasons since this happened, so. But the characters grow through so many different events that life throws at them, whether it's a loved one passing away, them making careless decisions, learning from those careless decisions, or dancing their troubles away on a table. So as you can see, it's very relatable. On the show, Dr. Bailey has a quote when she says, "You create your destiny." I love this because it reminds me that I can make anything I want in my life happen. This leads me to the last tip, the most crucial step in the process: believing in yourself. You dream what you dream for a reason, and it is up to you to make it happen in your reality. While your friends and family can certainly pray for and hope for you, you must believe in yourself, or the universe won't reward you. If you don't believe in yourself when you're going to that job interview, pitching yourself to a bank to get a business loan, or whatever else you are doing after you have practiced tip 2, no one else will. Following these previous tips helps you get to a place where you can see your vision and execute it. You have decluttered your mind and let go of any negative thoughts and experiences that have caused you to doubt yourself. You have looked up what action plan you need to take to get what you want. And now that the universe sees you are willing to act towards your dreams, you better believe they will come true in due time. Align your mental and physical energy with your desires and watch the world show you just how good it can get for you. I do affiliate with bookshop.org, where your purchases support local independent bookstores. I will earn a commission if you click through the links that I have below and make a purchase. If you have enjoyed listening to this episode, join the rest of the Growth Inspired Tribe and subscribe to my newsletter. By doing this, you'll get notified on each new episode, access to my latest blog post, and extra goodies such as motivating screensavers, checklists, and much more. I can tell you right now, I will not be sending out notifications daily, so don't worry. Let's embrace this journey called life together and grow into the fantastic human beings we were always destined to be.